Hi everyone, it's your girl Lila Motams, also known as Gelo Opazed, girl from Zambia. If you're new to this live stream, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you'll be notified that Gelo Opazed posts a video. Thank you so much for more than 82,000 subscribers. Na totela sana. Thank you. I am really pleased. I've got lots of subscribers from Zimbabwe, and these are my supporters that come to my YouTube channel. Each time I share videos, they watch my YouTube videos without looking at the fact that the stories that we talk about are about Zambia. And Zambia and Zimbabwe, we are neighbors and we share common ground. At one time, Zambia and Zimbabwe were one country. Zambia was Northern Rhodesia and Zimbabwe was Southern Rhodesia. But when we had our colonizers, they decided to split the two countries, and Zambia became Zambia and Zimbabwe became Zimbabwe. And there's a lot that has been going on there, and this was brought to my attention by my subscribers, and therefore I'd like to just read what's going on and then we can discuss. I mean, what affects Zimbabwe affects us as Zambia because we from the SADC region. For those of you who don't know what SADC stands for, it stands for Africans that are in the Southern African, development. We have what we call SADC, like the way the West Africans have ECOWAS for West Africa, we have SADC. So anything that affects Zimbabwe, we, the neighbors, are affected. Zambia is a landlocked country and we depend on imports and exporting to other countries, and Zimbabwe is our routes to even South Africa and other neighboring countries because we don't have a port of our own. So thank you. Tell me where you're watching me from. Chisanga says, hello, Honorable MP from Munali. Thank you so much. So there's a lot of work as well that I'm doing on ground, which has kept me busy. But with live streams, at least I'm able to discuss what's going on. So let's do this. Jempa says Zambia and Zimbabwe are one family. So I came across this on Bloomberg, and the post, says, Black Lives Matter. Zimbabwe protesters draw inspiration from Black Lives Matter. Okay, so the image that I've just seen, let me just show you now, is this image over here, where Zimbabweans are protesting, and I will be talking about what is going on. Okay, so the lady in the image is, I think, Sitsi Dangarembanga. A colleague, Julie, holds the placards as they are arrested during the protest in Harare on the 31st of July 2020, and this image was obviously shared by Getty Images. So the protests against economic turmoil, arrests, and human rights abuses in Zimbabwe have moved online with the hashtag that's play on the Black Lives Matter movement. The Zimbabwean Lives Matter tag started after security forces blocked a street demonstration last week. It sounds like Zambia. And that's why I really wanted to talk about this, because in Zambia right now, if you dare protest, you will be found in custody, you'll be arrested as well. So what is happening in Zimbabwe, we can relate to Zambia as well. Okay, so it draws on the success of the global movement, highlighting racial injustice that gained prominence after the death in May of George Floyd in Minneapolis at the hands of the police officer. Obviously, you know who George Floyd is. George Floyd is a man that was killed by a police officer, a white police officer, and it is obviously instigated by racial abuse. So the online campaign resulted in more than 700,000 tweets on Tuesday. Wow. And people say social media is not powerful. This is powerful, including from sports personalities and celebrities in and outside the country. Those who endorsed the hashtag include Tendai Beast. Those are obviously Zimbabwean celebrities. Mtawarira, a South African Rugby World Cup winner who hails from Zimbabwe. Caspar Nyovest, you know that guy is a really, really famous singer, from a rapper from Zimbabwe. Why is my light dark? Let me just put some brightness. Yeah, I just think it feels dark. Okay. Yeah, so Caspar also is among the people that tweeted one of South Africa's top pop stars and Pearl Tutsi, who started Africa's first Netflix film, Queen. So the hashtag is Zimbabwean Lives Matter. So if you have a social media page, use the Zimbabwean flag. I mean, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I haven't seen much reaction from our fellow Africans, but if it was France or Britain, they'll be even changing their flags. So I'm therefore pleading with everyone, wherever you are, go on your Facebook page, use the Zimbabwean flag and just hashtag Zimbabwean Lives Matter. It's important that we share. So President Emerson, he was raised in Zambia, and therefore, Zambia and Zimbabwe, we got history together. He's been labeled the planned street protest as an insurrection meant to topple his administration. Sorry, my phone is metal, so it overheats, and yeah, I need to change my phone. It needs to be plastic or something. Yeah, it overheats. Okay, so I haven't seen much reaction from our fellow Africans on their Facebook pages, but at least from what I'm reading, Caspar and them have shared. So Zimbabweans' lives matter. Whether you know any Zimbabwean or not, it's important that we share this on our platforms. I mean, people being arrested for simply trying to speak out what's going on, in the country is a dictatorship. And this is what we are experiencing in Zambia, where the president is okay to host an event where he's commissioning a bridge, which can be commissioned by a minister, but he commissions the bridge with thousands of people in this pandemic, and none of them are wearing masks. So the African leadership or African administration is full of selfish leadership that want to be in leadership forever, ever, ever. They are not in leadership for the people, but they're in leadership for themselves. And this is why I've told many people that, look, with the exposure some of us have in the Western world, where we know that every finances that come in the government is for the people who have low income, and they use some of the money to renovate, loads of buildings, and then they also make sure the roads are kept well. We can do the same in Africa. But when we try to protest, you are fighting the government. And yet it is in everyone's right to protest against what they're not happy about. People have protested against George Floyd, what happened to him, against the police in America and the racism and how Black Lives Matter. And nobody was arrested except maybe people who were drinking and throwing, bottles, So I don't understand, why people are in leadership if they don't accept when people are telling them that you are making a mistake, you are neglecting us. A protest is for you and me to express our concerns and for us to say we're not happy about this. So in the president's speech that was televised on Tuesday, he said dark forces within and outside the country were undermining economic recovery. Indeed. So he also stated that the bad apples that have attempted to divide our people and to weaken our systems will be flushed out. So you can't protest in Zimbabwe. If you protest, you'll be flushed out. Now that's a dictator. And Zimbabwe you gotta do something about this. You know, there's no way he can say people are protesting, and the reason why they're protesting is because they want to divide the people, when it's their right to complain about what's going on. I've shared a video on my YouTube channel where medical doctors in Zimbabwe get paid $100 a month. $100 a month in Zambian kwacha is about 2,000. And not even a medical doctor in Zambia will get paid that. Honestly, not even at a government institution will a medical doctor in Zambia get paid that. So simply Daddy said, I am glad you're talking about this. A few weeks ago, nurses were arrested for protesting for PPE. Human rights abuses are too much now. Now, these people are in the front line working and looking after COVID-19 patients. And then the Zimbabwean government does not supply this equipment. So they expect them, for example, this is one of the masks that I have, which I have made for, sorry about that, my phone is overheating. So this is, one of the masks. It is my right to have one because now you need to be protected. And it is a right of every Zambian to have one. But guess what? So many people don't have this. Now, I would understand if the government says, oh, we can't supply it to everyone, but not frontline workers. So because the frontline workers protested in Zimbabwe, they are dividing the system and they are weakening the system. And therefore, the president, Emerson Mnangagwa, says he will flush them out. Collins Mlenga said, we thought he was going to be a savior for Zimbabweans, but contrary, he's becoming a terror. And you see, that's the thing, with our African leadership, where they enjoy the power so much and they forget that it's the people that put them in office. After having Mugabe for many years, Zimbabweans were expecting to see something different, to see a shift. And yet he's even worse. And I'm thinking, you've seen how Zimbabweans have struggled for the many years, and then you come in and become a dictator. Oh, wow. Africa for you. Okay, so Zimbabwe is facing an economic crisis with inflation of 737%. Food and fuel shortages, and a collapsing in a currency. I mean, Zimbabweans don't even use their own currency. They use what you call the Zimbabwean US dollar, which doesn't even work now. So they're using US dollars. At least 60 people, that's what I'm reading from Bloomberg. At least 60 people, including 2020 Booker Prize long-listed novelist Tsitsi, have been arrested for demonstrating in the southern African nation, according to a Zimbabwean lawyer for human rights. So you can't protest, you will be arrested, because according to the guy, you are stepping on what he calls the peace of Zimbabwe, when Zimbabweans are complaining about what's going on. So the primary role of the state is to protect its citizens, yes. And it had never fallen short of the responsibility, and government, that's what the government spokesperson is saying, that they've never, fallen short of the responsibility. It's a joke, a pure joke when you see such, so much is going on. And obviously on this same page, they're talking about Zimbabwean stock markets, but I want to check out other information. Meanwhile, if you have any information, also talk about what you know about Zimbabwe. Okay, thank you so much, Tali, watching me from Kawe. Austin says, it's a pity, honorable, to see that our leaders in Africa campaign to be our servants, but when put, so, like I've stated, my phone is overheating. Yeah. So you see, you would expect to see change in our African continents, like, the comment that we just received from Austin. He said, look, it's like the power, when people are put in power, it's like, instead of them becoming servants, our servants, they become the bosses. We've seen ministers in Zambia who don't even qualify to be ministers, by the way. They don't even have the qualifications. They were just placed there because of their loyalty to the party, and they just perform anyhow. Okay, so I'm going on another page. If you know anything about Zimbabwe, just comment so that we talk about this. And for those of you who are waiting for us to talk about what's happening in Zambia, I will be live shortly as well to talk about those things. But for now, let's just talk about Zimbabwe. So I'm on the Human Rights Watch, and the Human Rights Watch has also talked about what's going on in Zimbabwe. It's not fair. Mutai Gilbert says, why don't you merge South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe to become one? It's impossible. Okay, so Zimbabwe Lives Matter. So this is a daily brief where there's... Yeah, so like I've said, I've had issues. The phone is overheating. On Your Throne has tweeted, I stand with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwean Lives Matter. So Zimbabwe, just know that I'm thinking about you. We are all thinking about you and what's going on in Zimbabwe. It is your human right to complain about what's going on if you're not happy and satisfied with the leadership that you have in Zimbabwe. Nobody has any right to stop you from protesting. So I'm moving my light a little bit back because it's disturbing the phone. My phone is overheated. I think because Africa is also hot. Yes. Let's see. AfroZ said, African leadership needs reformation. Otherwise, we shall never develop. We need more youths in government to get rid of these selfish old people. And that's the thing, AfroZ. I've put myself forward to say I want to stand as a member of parliament for Monali constituency, and by God's grace, I should be appointed even as a minister of gender or even a minister of information, and the youths are fighting me. And I'm asking myself, if you want change, you have to step in there to see change. And they are saying, oh, is that the reason why you've been talking about all these things? So you were after a political ambition. Excuse me. If you don't push yourself there, you will be complaining every time like I'm complaining right now, and nothing will ever be done. This weekend, I'm documenting my journey in Monali constituency. You will be shocked at what you will see. After 55 years of independence and 10 years of... And you see, the young ones will be complaining, thinking the reason why we've been talking about these issues is because we want political careers to go on. And yet, the reason why we've been talking about these issues is that we are complaining about governance and we don't have many youths. I mean, how can we have old people that go to the United Nations for meetings and all they do is doors? Because they don't care. That's what they do. But if you have young blood like myself, I'm seated in a big UN general meeting, I will be awake because my blood is fresh. These guys are over 65. What would you be doing at over 65? And even the reason why in Zambia they're even asking for Bill 10 to be brought in is because they want to extend the ministerial, eligibility to 70 years old. Imagine a 70-year-old minister or member of parliament. What job will they do? I'm walking in the ghetto. I'm running around in the ghetto. Even when there's a football match, I'm there running. Can a 70-year-old? Okay, so I just wanted to do this in brief, and then I'm going to do a live stream where everybody can join in and we discuss what's going on in Zimbabwe. I think it's good that people should come in as well. Okay. Amon Cafeto says, my advice, Lillian, people always talk, where good and bad are behind. Thank you so much. Yeah. So scores of people have been arrested in Zimbabwe as authorities have mounted an unprecedented clampdown. So I'll be going on my laptop so that you guys can join the stream and we discuss what's going on in Zimbabwe. So most people have been arrested in Zimbabwe because of, pro-democracy campaigners, opposition political party members, journalists and ordinary citizens voicing concerns over rising corruption, which we are facing as well in Zambia, and the worsening economic crisis. The crackdown has prompted a Zimbabwean Lives Matter, and we are going to be live shortly to talk about this. Somebody named Dewa Mavinga, who is okay. So I am going on my laptop now. Let me end this stream. Let's discuss what's going on in Zimbabwe. It's a girl Leloma Tams, also known as Gelwa Pazed, girl from Zambia. So we're having interruptions on my phone. Let's use the laptop now. Take care. I'll see you in a few minutes. I love you guys.